Hello, hello, hello. It's Sunday, October 30th, and I'm here. Just got home from a fabulous weekend with my boyfriend to Dutch island called Terschelling, which is off the coast. It's a pretty long trip. It's about a 1.5 hour drive from our home to the port, and then a 2 hour boat trip with the ferry to get to that island. So it's quite a ride. And we just got back. And of course, some of you who have followed me on Instagram may have noticed that I spent the rest of the week with Martin of Martin's Musings in London. It's kind of becoming a tradition, sort of. Martin and I go to London to visit all the tarot shops that they have, and to just have a great and wonderful time together as friends, because we speak to each other daily, but we don't get to see each other that often. So what I'm going to be doing is a little, story time, show and tell. I'm going to show you guys what I got, what I bought, what people gifted me. We met some fabulous people in London. And I'm going to start with this book, because this book is really good. It's Our Crooked Hearts by Melissa Albert. I already kind of registered that she had a new book out, but I never really registered it in a way where I was like, oh, I need to pre-order this. But, some of you may know that I absolutely love Melissa Albert's writing style. She writes young adult books, but they're actually pretty rich in language. She's a real wordsmith. She especially proved that in her short story book called Tales from the Hinterland, which is part of the Hazelwood series. This is a standalone story, and what Melissa's very good at is books about secrets. This is a mother-daughter tale. Obviously, there's witchcraft involved. There's magic involved. It takes us through the past to the present, back to the past to elsewhere. It's this really dark, twisted tale about keeping secrets, hiding things from each other, and how that can hurt relationships. I bought this at the airport. I didn't have any books with me, but, I know myself, and I always have to buy a new book when I'm at an airport. It's kind of mandatory for me, because I knew there's going to be a lot of lines. Our Dutch main airport, Schiphol, it's a great airport, but they're kind of struggling with staff right now. So there are waiting times up to 4 hours. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to get myself a book. And if I get through the line early, I can just, kind of hunker down somewhere in a corner and read the book. And if the line stays open very long, and I have to stand in it for very long, I can just read the book in the line. The line went by pretty quickly, so I just sat down and started reading this book. And I kid you not, I was halfway through it by the time I was allowed to board the plane. That's how good it was. Obviously, in London, I didn't really read, but on the way back and this weekend on the island, I finished it, and this is a banger. So if you are, Halloween obviously is tomorrow, but if you are looking for a great, witchy, fun-to-read young adult novel that goes a little bit deeper, that has gorgeous language, honestly, every chapter has an unforgettable quote in it. That's how good her writing is. But it also reads quick, so it's not prosaic and poetic just for the sake of it. I don't like books that are like that clearly want to show you, the reader, how well-schooled the author is, if you get my drift. I don't like that at all. This is not that, but it's a wonderful, wonderful story. The book has a satin matte finish on the cover, which I love. So yeah, it's about a mom who is a witch. It's about a daughter who kind of finds out about that through stuff that happens in the present that kicks off a whole narrative in the past. And, you know, about 2/3 into the book, those two narratives come together, and there's this explosive twist that makes me go, what the hell? And it was such a good book. Oh man, really, really, really love this. Our Crooked Hearts by Melissa Albert. Stunning read. Like, I am definitely going to recommend this to all of the teens that I work with that are into young adult witchy reads. So then I got into London. I met Martin at the station. Simon was with him. Simon is from The Fool and the Stars. He's on Instagram, not so much on YouTube. We had never met, so that was really lovely. Lovely guy. And then Martin and I departed and went to the hotel room, and obviously I gifted Martin a copy of my upcoming tarot deck and a really neat book by Eva Torinent called The Wonderful World of Eva, which I obviously don't have right now, but it's really Brian Froud-esque. I love it. So if you're into that, like, Brian Froud-esque fairy type book, The Wonderful World of Eva. Just type that in on Amazon. It's fabulous. And I've heard on the grapevine that there may be some Oracle decks coming out by her as well, but you didn't hear it from me. Anyways, then there is, what else did I gift him? What else did I bring? Damn. Oh yeah, the Madame Delores Tarot, Madame Delores Hieroglyphic Tarot. That's pretty epic. I did a remaster of that, and I'm going to be putting that in my Etsy shop soon. Just a couple of copies just to see how well they do, because I love that. So yeah, I gifted him that, and then Martin gifted me some really cool things. Let's start with the decks. I took this out of the box because this is, you know, a deck that is by Inner Traditions, which, you know, I love that publisher a lot, but their boxes aren't always the handiest. I have the Anubis Tarot by them. This is the Hoodoo Tarot. And honestly, I never really paid this much mind. I'd always seen the box cover, and I was like, ooh, that looks cool, but I never really, like, picked it up. And it's so dope. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to show all the cards. I like laying out my cards like this now. I saw it in a video. I think Ocean Drive Tarot does it like this a little bit. And I think it's an interesting way to show you the cards. Obviously, it has this really vintage vibe to the deck, which I adore. It's absolutely stunning. This is my favorite card. It's also the box cover. Dem Bones. I love that. Love that so much. Obviously, there's a lot of different titles, yet the deck still very much is RWS. So that's pretty cool. So you could use it straight out of the box, but I feel like I really want to dive into the guidebook because I think it's stunning. Am I going to show you all the cards in this video? Not necessarily. I think this is more than enough, actually, just to give you an idea. If you're kind of into this vintagey looking deck, I quite like it. Inner Traditions cardstock isn't always the greatest, but then again, you know, they do offer some really interesting takes on tarot. Like, for example, this deck or the Anubis Tarot, which I also love. I have it somewhere up here. Just really stunning little decks. And I love this back design as well. So yeah, I got that and I'm extremely happy with it. I decided to take it out of the box and now I have to put it in, but I'm not going to do that now, obviously. Another one that Martin gifted me that I really liked is, and that I didn't have, is the Cosmic Cunt Tarot. I adore this deck. I love Sam Rook, or Samantha West, I should say. It's really funny because Willem actually gifted me the indie version of the Marble Moon Tarot, also known as the Rainbow Moon in its mass market iteration. By the way, Rockpool's gilding is the best when it comes to mainstream mass market decks. I love this deck. It's still in order, so I'm going to try to lay it down in a way where I can put it back in order if I want to, because I kind of want to, I don't know, look at it a bit more when I look at me trying to be aesthetically pleasing. It's just not meant for me, I guess. But you've probably seen this. It's really, really funny. Let me quickly show you my favorite suit, because that is the suit of probes instead of wands. And I always see wands as the suit of big dicks, so this makes a lot of sense for me. And you know what's really cool? It's a pocket deck. I feel like we should have more pocket-sized decks. It's a stellar release. The cardstock is really good. It's a really fun, whimsical deck, and I kind of want you guys to get with it and get it, because it's really, really good. Rockpool has been killing it with the people they're picking up. They're taking risks. I love it. So yeah, the Marble, or not the Marble Moon Tarot, the Cosmic Cunt Tarot. It's in this really cool little box as well. Like, obviously, this is not a deck that you can read for everyone with, because, you know, Karens will probably get offended by the probes. However, I think this is a stunning deck. Once again, really cool back design. I think I get a massive deck design boner when there's a good back design, when there's an interesting back design. I don't like seeing the art from the deck as a back design. I think that's kind of lazy. But yeah, I did get this. I didn't even really have time to, so maybe there will be more in-depth reviews of these decks. Maybe not. I'm not going to make any promises because I'm a busy bitch, but yeah. So I got that. Then I also got, oh man, yeah, this is really, really dope, actually. This is not even out, but I can't even show you in full because it's that big. But this is the Tarot and Oracle Journal by Rockpool, and it's really, really dope because it has these clasps. And it's not just any basic little journal. Obviously, I can't show you the full pages right now, but there's actually like a little introduction. This is such a good title for them. So you could do card of the day stuff here in the beginning if that's something you want. But then there's also lots of spreads. So for example, what I like a lot is they call it a one-card reading, and then there's a plethora of questions you can ask. I think that's really, really good. Honestly, then you get 2-card spreads, 3-card spreads, so you get lots of different spreads in here. Multi-card spreads, 4-card, new moon spread, full moon spread, new beginnings, a transition spread, awareness, self-reflection, conflict resolution pyramid. Oh man, like there's so many things. Wow. Oh, it even has this really dope ribbon here. That's sweet. Wow, are there 35 spreads in here, guys? Oh my god, 40 spreads? 41 spreads? What the hell? 43, Celtic Cross, the class, 43 spreads. And then there's even one where you can put your own spreads in here as well, which is so cool. So this is not just a journal, but this is also your own little tarot grimoire, basically. I wish I would have had this when I started studying. So then you come to the notes section, and here you can write your readings. So there's dates, who the reading was for, blah, 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 who's doing the reading, number of cards pulled, spread used, deck used, question or topic, keywords, the overall message, interpretation, and then post-reading reflections with a date. So that's basically the rest of the book. It's gorgeously gilded too, by the way. I don't know if you can see that. But yeah. And is it the same all the time? Yeah, it is. It is similar throughout. However, there will be little sections where it asks you to reflect as you go along. So it's pretty cool. It's a really cool product, and I really like that they added this to their roster, and I hope they keep it in print, because I can imagine there is this one tarot tracker that's kind of doing the rounds. I don't like that one as much. I feel like this is probably the penultimate one. It's not the cheapest, but you're getting a lot of bang for your buck. Hell, they may even, you know, once it goes out of print, they may even create new ones with more spreads. It's really, really great. So I love that. Let's see. Did I get anything else? Yes. I also got a really neat empty journal. So Martin really got me into journaling, y'all. And this Traveler's Journal system is everything. It's really, really simple, but you have these elastic bands and you can just clip a notebook behind it and it'll stick. It smells wonderful too. It smells like Martin's incense that he uses a lot. So I really like this. I still have one that I'm working with now, but once that is full, or maybe I could use this for something else. Really sweet. So I love, love, love that. So those were all the gifts. Now let's get into the stuff that I bought. Where did we start buying shit? Let me put this in order a little bit. So let's see. Yeah. So let's start with day one. We met B, and I can't really show you her because she's quite big, but B made me this adorable dolly. Look, she's called London. Say hi to everyone, London. Hello. I love her. You know, B, Ikali Sunflower, we are, you know, we follow each other, and so it's always nice to meet new people, and we had lots of fun in Watkins. And I bought two things, and one thing is a little bit weird. It's called the Oracle of Decans, and this is not an easy deck to use. There was a guidebook. Martin and I went back for that the following day, but the guidebook is full of poetry, and it didn't make a lot of sense, but I did see someone mention this deck and talk about it and explain it a little bit. But it's basically a deck that features the 36 Egyptian deacon spirits, but then there are basically two packs, one light pack and one darker pack. And they're supposed to kind of represent the polar opposites. So yeah, it's not an easy deck, y'all. Let me tell you that. It's more of a, this is not a pull a card, do a reading quickly. So for all the Oracle haters out there, this may probably be the deck for you, because this is something that has a system that, you know, it has lots of thought put into it, and that's also why it triggered me to buy it. So you'll have, per deity or spirit, deacon spirit, I should say, you have two cards, a light card and a dark card. They represent the juxtapositions between a more light or a more dark approach. Every card has the name of the deacon, the talisman. So these are basically talismans. All the deacons are linked to healing processes. So you could keep a card in your bag or in your wallet to manifest or to help you heal that specific thing you want to heal. So that's a way you can use it, but you can also use it for divination, using your pre-existing knowledge of the deacons, as well as the prose on the cards. But the prose is really profound, maybe a bit too profound for me. I did really like the look of it, and I'm gonna find a way to work with this, because this is a challenge. This is something that hasn't been done too often before, and I do like it a lot. I believe Travis McHenry did an Egyptian deck on the deacons that was on Kickstarter. So maybe once, that'll probably go mass market with Rockpool soon, like probably next year. So I may get that, because he's usually a bit more methodical and scientific towards his approach. But I do like this a lot. I think the prose really makes you think. Sometimes prose gives me, and prose and poetry gives me inspiration, and I really do like this a lot. So I got that because I did hear about it from someone. I'm not sure if it was Dustin at Modern Metaphysicae who talked about this, or maybe Simon from the Hermit's Cave, but I did hear someone mention this, and I do remember really liking what I heard. So what are the deacons? Every sign has 3 deacons. You can kind of see them here, literally on my play mat here. We have the sign Capricorn has 34, 35, 36. Those are the deacons for Capricorn. So if Capricorn was in your, if Capricorn was in Aquarius, if Capricorn was in, I need to explain this better. So if Capricorn was in Mars in the 4th house, you could the decan which it's placed in, is it placed in this little sliver of the zodiac pie, or this little sliver, or that little sliver, that decan position will influence the reading of the birth chart a lot. So I find that really fascinating. I'm going to try to figure out how to work with it. The backs are stunning too, by the way. It's a really cute little indie deck, and it wasn't expensive either. And it's a really nice little pocket deck. So, yeah, the Oracle Deacons. What I also got on my first day in London was this. So, like I said, I went kind of scientific a little bit, and a little bit alchemical, and a little bit too far in, a little bit over my head sometimes. But I got the Splendor Soulless Tarot. This deck's been getting a lot of hate online. I read some of the reviews and I was like, I get what you guys are saying, but you really don't get the deck then. This is a stunning production. You can also get it on Amazon, apparently, which I didn't know. It has a really, really pretty guidebook that does explain a lot, but is almost kind of Golden Dawn Crawley-esque in its vagueness. But it's basically a deck based on the Splendor Soulless, which is an alchemical text. So you will get Alchemy of, and then the regular card title at the bottom. So if you are well versed in tarot and you know what you're doing, this will be an easy deck for you to read with. If you are a person that has never picked up a book on tarot, never studied it, and only reads intuitively and doesn't give a shit about the whole system behind things, you're going to find this deck hard to work with because you're going to rely on imagery that you have seen over and over again. And if that's your reading style, that's fine. But I like knowing what I'm doing a little bit more, and I know all the cards by heart. What's really interesting is that we get more of an alchemical vague title at the top, and then we get a lovely illustration from the Splendor Soulless book as the card. So that's really stunning. The colors are amazing. A lot of people, so obviously we're only getting quartz and majors now. Look at that, the Great Tree, Alchemy of the Hierophant. So there's a lot to see here. There's a lot of interesting stuff going on. I really need to read the guidebook. However, I dig this vibe. I dig it a lot. I don't know if you saw it, but the deck has a lovely gold matte antique edging, and it has a satin matte rose petal finish that you can hear. I love it. But it's not the super sticky kind. It shuffles really well. So the minors all look like this. So you'll get a tableau. So all the sixes will have this same tableau. And we'll have this insert in the middle with the Tree of a Life on there. And then it will show you which sphere on the Tree of Life this card represents. So if you're into a more alchemical and Kabbalistic style of reading, this makes sense. This is a lot of fun. If you're like, no, I want to see the guy on the horse, because otherwise I don't know what this card is about, you're not going to get it. But you actually get a really profound title that comes with the deck from the Splendor Solis book a little bit. And then you get the basic meaning at the bottom. So a lot of people didn't like that. But I love it, and I also love the vividness of the colors in this little vignette. So all the 7s will have this tableau, this border, and then the vignette will show which sphere that on the Tree of Life it represents. So it's actually a really great Kabbalistic tarot reading practice tool, to be honest with you. So you can kind of literally visually directly see how high up or how low on the Tree of Life it is, which I feel is really interesting because within Kabbalah, it's very much about ascension as well. But I love seeing some cards that are, you know, a bit more up there than we may have thought they were, than I may have thought they were. Obviously, 9 of Pentacles is super low because, you know, Earth is, you know, low on the Tree of Life. But it's really, really, really interesting. And we get these lovely, lovely titles up top, and it all gets explained rather vaguely, but interestingly in the guidebook. Oh, whoops. There's a reversed card. We don't do that. But yeah, I get that a lot of people wouldn't like this vignette rather than an illustration. Can we see the gold? Yes, we can. So all the cards have this gold foil illustration going on. And the majors have it even more. And I think it's just a stunning, stunning deck. This will come back later, but this deck literally followed me throughout the week. And I can't wait to, like, honestly, I've been thinking a lot about deck guidebooks and how bad they usually are. Whoops, I'm messing up my deck here. No, messing up my box. How useless they usually are because, you know, it's the same shit over and over again. And this is something different. This is giving me new insights. This is giving me a story, this book. I've read a couple of pages of it. This is giving me layers. This is giving me knowledge. And this is the stuff I like. And I don't really have a lot of these antique-looking decks. So definitely great production. Pretty affordable, too, honestly. Especially for a deck with this production quality. So that's what I got on in the first store. Then we went to, oh my gosh, what did I get there even? Just these 2 things, I guess. Yeah. Then we went to the lovely, lovely Atlantis bookstore. Well, we went to the astrology shop first, but they didn't really have any decks we liked there. But, however, Martin did buy me this Unikite palm stone, which I adore. I adore palm stones. I adore sitting with them, and I think this is a rather lovely piece, and I don't have any Unikite yet, so this is definitely going to be a favorite. And there I found this deck, the Neuragic Moon Oracle by Neuragic Shamanic Healing. You can give them a follow on Instagram. This is a deck based on the Sardinian, a Sardinian pagan religion. And it has these really cool graphics. It's a rather small deck. There's only 26 cards in here, but the messages are so expansive that it doesn't really feel like a 26 card deck. This has matte antique gilded edging, and this is on glossier stock. However, we can still clearly see what's going on. So it looks pretty basic at first, but then the guidebook does go into a lot of detail, although it is quite thin. Little text doesn't mean that the information isn't super apt and really interesting. So I do adore this. I messaged the creator. I was like, I found this deck in Atlantis. So I bought this at the Atlantis bookstore, which is probably one of the most fabulous ones. Watkins has a slightly bigger selection, but I love Geraldine and Bali. They run the store. They're a lot of fun. And this is just really cool. I mean, it's a small deck. I'm already forgetting my aesthetic thing. Look at me trying to be cool while, you know, very obviously I'm very bad at it. But yeah, this has really cool graphics and it has really cool, interesting keywords on there. So I do love this. There's quite a lot of nudity in here, quite a lot of very, very much a divine feminine vibe, which I adore. And yeah, it's a fun deck. I'm really glad I got it. I was just so, because I remember following this creator and not backing it on Kickstarter because I was kind of like, you know, there's so many cool decks coming out. You just can't back everything. Otherwise, you'll end up broke. And I do remember feeling kind of bummed out, but then also forgetting about it. And seeing it there in the store was so special for me. Sometimes we forget how that works, right? Where it's really important to sometimes just see things in stores and, you know, wanting to pick them up. So stunning. Loved it. What else did I get there at Watkins or at Atlantis? Ooh, yes. An out-of-print deck. They have a fabulous selection of out-of-print decks for friendly prices. This is the Tarot of Fire by Los Scarabeo. I'm going to try again to do my aesthetically pleasing layout thing because, you know, if I'm going to try to be a tarot influencer, I might as well be a tarot influencer. Am I right? So you know, obviously I've been after this deck a lot. Also this box image, I mean, I love it. I adore it. The backs are stunning as well. Let me show you really quickly. This is what the card backs look like. This is an Los Scarabeo deck from the 2010s. It has art by Franco Rivolo. Rivoli, who also did the In-Between Tarot, which I'm not the biggest fan of, but I do love his art. He has style. That man has style. And this is a tarot based on fire. It's all based on fire. It's very dark. I love it. All the myths and legends that are on the cards do get a brief mention in the Little White Book, which, I mean, that's completely cool. Do want to keep everything visible on the screen, obviously. I love the way this deck looks. It features fire myths from all around the world. Everything gets explained. Everything makes sense to me so far because I've been, I took this deck with me immediately on my weekend away and I was like, yes, I love the imagery. I love the intensity, for example, of this Empress, really stunning. And I love how dark it is. I don't know if it's the best deck to use on camera per se, but I love the darkness in a tarot deck that's all about fire. And you might think it was interesting to see how it works with, you know, the Cups suit. But for example, we get the King of Cups here, and us Westerners will be like, what? Dragons? Dragons are fire. But no, no, no. In Asian culture, they're very often linked to water as well. So there's a lot of cool stuff going on. Some myths I immediately recognized, some I didn't. But they are stunning, amazing, gorgeous artwork. Just really, really, really good work. I wish he would do a bit more, actually, for Los Scarabeo, but yeah, I mean, his artworks take lots of time, and this is just a deck that I really, really, really like. It kind of has a lot of masculine energy in it as well. It exudes that, basically, for the final card, once again. This stunning the world. I just love it. I love it. I also love the orange border. I saw a lot of people complaining about that, complaining about the large orange border. I mean, I'm not complaining at all. I love it. I think it makes the deck look really cool. It kind of gives it a sort of a little Halloween-y vibe as well, a little bit. I just think it's stunning. Really stunning set. Really happy to get it at a cheap price, at an affordable price. I don't mind paying a bit extra for an out-of-print deck. And that's exactly what this was. It was a bit extra for a deck that I've been on the hunt for a while now. So yeah, this is sure to become a favorite of mine. So that was the Atlantis bookstore. I think we left after that, and we went back to the hotel for a while, only to come back into town to go to Treadwell's because they had a Night of the Living Dead movie night, which didn't happen because we mistook the date, and it wasn't until the next day, which wasn't a big problem for us. So the next day, oh, I forgot to tell, and I don't know if they're going to go through with it, but I can tell. Ooh, people are going to be like, what's this? It's a secret, and I can't spill the tea just yet. But I will in due time. The next day we went back to Watkins to check out that guidebook for that that Deacon's deck. You know, that really cool oracle of the Egyptian Deacon spirits, and we decided no. And I was like, I was a bit overwhelmed yesterday. I would like to peruse the shelves a little bit more. And Martin was like, sure, do it. And I found, and I got a pretty cool epic discount for it as well. I found the limited edition of the Seed and Sickle Oracle. Well, let me open this baby up. Let's see if I can do that without messing up my whole table. Obviously, I can't because I suck at life. Oh, it's upside down. That's why. Ha ha ha. So it's this whole freaking can full of cool stuff. So we get this bag, we get an authenticity certificate, we get a really cute little blank paper sketchbook, and then we get these two decks. I've been on the fence about this. I was really looking forward to the release. I'm going to take it out. I'm going to take the extra deck out as well. I'm going to put all this back in for a little bit. And so I was really excited about the Seed and Sickle. And then it came out and I saw it and I was like, I can't work with it because there are no keywords on the cards. Then I saw the special edition that I had been wanting for a while. And I was like, you know what? I may as well just get it, especially since I got a pretty good discount on it. When you buy stuff at Watkins, you get stamp cards, and when you have a full card, you get a £10 discount on all the... Oh, wait a minute, what's this? Why are these cards all jumbled and not good? Anyways, you can get a £10 discount, and because of the money I spent the day before, I did get that discount anyways, which made this deck even more affordable. Now, this is the gilded version of the deck. The gilding does make it a bit clumpy because the gilding is slightly, I don't know, it's a little bit raised on each card. I don't know if that makes sense. So I'm going to have to riffle shuffle this a lot to kind of smooth it out. But what I did find, and I do have a little bit of plant magic knowledge, obviously, otherwise why would I put plant magic in my own deck? But when you do look at the cards, there are some visual clues as to the meaning of the card. So even without the keywords, you could, not with all, but with most cards, get a really neat, intuitive message. However, I have found with this deck that the guidebooks are really well written and are very healing, and I do love that idea of having two guidebooks with a deck, which I thought was really dumb at first. And you know what? I've grown very fond of it over the last couple days, and I also really like Fez Inkwright's illustration work. So obviously, we've all seen this a million times. Would it have been maybe the perfect plant deck if there would have been a couple of keywords on the cards? Probably. But will that ruin my experience with this deck? No. Also, this is the first Liminal 11 deck that I have that doesn't have that atrocious glossy cardstock that they used to use. And I applaud them for that. So this is pretty cool. I love it. I like it a lot. This is definitely not a deck for using with other people, I think. I really feel like this is a deck that you use for yourself, for self-care, for journaling, for when you have time to pull out that guidebook and take some time with it. This is not a quickie. A quickie deck, which, you know, I've grown to love and accept. I used to be so annoying when like that, where I was like, every deck needs to be good and usable for not just yourself, but also for clients immediately. And I've grown a little bit more soft, and I now recognize that some decks can just be for you. So I do love this a lot, but the reason why I wanted to get this was because of this little deck, the Citadel deck. Comes in this really cool little hexagonal box, which has magnets in them. Look, just snaps right shut. And you get these really cool cards, also a really good little hexagonal guidebook, which is pretty amazing. It comes with these cards that are sort of archetypal. They represent an archetype, literally an inhabitant of that magical city that the deck is about. It's about the Citadel, that magical city. So it's really, really cool. I happen to adore it. I happen to love it. There's lots of foil shit going on here as well, which I think is really, really cool. You know, and I love thinking about archetypes like this. I think they're really interesting. I think they're really dope. I love the back design on this one as well. I mean, and honestly, I almost feel like this deck is better. I mean, like I said just now, I love the Seed and Sickle, but I almost feel like this deck is better than the actual deck that this whole box set is supposed to be about. And I had a similar thing with the White Newman Tarot, where that came with a little square pocket astrology deck. And I was like, why is the little square pocket astrology deck better than and more interesting than the actual deck? So I do like that they add these, and even better, I see all these suckers online paying hundreds upon hundreds of dollars for this special edition, when in fact, I got it because it's supposedly sold out, when in fact I got it for a really affordable price from an actual store, which I loved. I love being able to walk into a store and getting stuff like this off the rack for an affordable price. I think that's absolutely fabulous. So I'm just completely enamored with this box set. I'm really happy that I got that. Then Martin and I went to what's the name again? Planet. Shit, what's the name of it again? I forget. Forbidden Planet. And I got this lovely book, The Horned God, Weird Tales of the Great God Pan, which I wanted to get as part of a research thing that I'm doing right now. So I was really glad that I found it in the wild. I mean, I have it in my wish list on Amazon still, should remove it. But there aren't that many books about the Horned God. And this is fiction, obviously. And then I also have some non-fiction works. And I actually started reading this on the boat trip back. And it's really, really cool. It is a bit more literary, though. So, you know, no young adult funsies here. And then I also got this. And I know this is really bad. And I know I should stop buying Inside Editions decks. And I'm probably never going to buy one again. However, I do like Hocus Pocus so much. It's such an integral part of my childhood. Let me put them down again like this. So I did shuffle these. They're fabulous. I do love the illustrations. I don't mind pip decks that much, so who gives a flip what they look like, you know. I really like the illustration. It does suit the Disney theme very much. I think it's amazing. I think the choices for the scenes and the cards were really good. Obviously, it's an Inside Editions deck, so there are a lot of flaws. I do love their cardstock. I love the finishes they use for their cardstock. This is probably going to be the last one I'm going to get unless they pick out another IP that I just really think is super dope. But yeah, loving the backs on this as well. This really sort of generic galaxy, magical, sparkly theme. I do love that a lot. So yeah, I'm really glad that I managed to find this. For some reason, you know, in America, it's super affordable and cheap. But for some reason, these Inside Editions decks aren't being distributed in Europe that well, and they can get really pricey on our Dutch Amazon. So like, I'm snagging this while I still can. So yeah, I do like this a lot. I'm really happy with it. So that was our Forbidden Planet visit. They actually had lots of tarot and oracle and magic and witchy stuff there. So if you're ever in London, visit them. They have good prices as well. I think that was about it. Yeah. And then we went to this really, really cool, I still have the reading list here. This really cool Night of the Living Dead screening at Treadwell's. Treadwell's is a really cool occult bookstore that has the fireplace, has Pamela Coleman Smith's fireplace that you can't always visit, but when you do happen to go to an event there, it's usually in the downstairs room where it is. And Martin and I went to the Night of the Living Dead screening, which was so much fun because it's such a fun and chill film. I love that film so much. And we actually, so we got this this piece of paper shoved in our hands. We thought we were just gonna watch a movie, but then we read along with books by our brilliant speaker Lilith Dorsey, and I was like, what? So we were getting it was digital, of course, but we got this really cool academic film reading from Lilith. So much fun. She was fabulous. And this really cool, like, book reading list where you can kind of, you know, learn a little bit more about the voodoo and the zombies and the stuff like that. Really, really cool that we got this list. So I'm going to keep that. Did I forget anything? Did I mention everything? I think I did. That was the London adventure. And then obviously the last couple days, me and Willem went to this lovely island and I brought back some stunning seashells. I mean, come on now. Can't go to an island and not bring back the most gorgeous seashells you can find. And there were so many there. It was such a stunning visit. It's such a desolate place. I love desolate places like that. And this really like made me go like, I maybe kind of want to take out my mermaid decks again. And on that note, I want to finish the video and I want to thank you for watching. And I love y'all and